Good afternoon, everybody. I have chapter 2 of Ragweed for you. This chapter is called Some Advice is Given. So I wonder who that advice is from. Also, before I start reading, I'm really sorry that my voice is often not synced up to the video. I know that is really thing. It is for me. So maybe when you're watching, you can just listen instead of watching the video. All right, some advice is given. All that morning, Ragweed continued until he reached a split in the pathway. One path went due east, the other headed south. For the first time since he'd left home, he had to make a decision as to which direction to go. Relishing the luxury of making up his mind at leisure, he decided to rest. Then, remembering that he had not eaten that day, he nosed about until he found enough hazelnuts to make himself a lunch. Hazelnuts were Ragweed's favorite food. As Ragweed nibbled away, an elderly vole meandered out from behind a bush. The vole had a short tail, large ears, reddish-brown fur on his back, and gray whiskers on his blunt snout. He was also nearsighted, snuffling so intently about the ground that he walked right into Ragweed. Oh my, the vole exclaimed, flustered and embarrassed. I do beg 1,000 pardons. I didn't see you, young fellow. Really? What's come over me? Walking into strangers. I fear my eyes are not what they used to be. Do forgive me. No harm done, sir, Ragweed returned cheerfully. I'm sprawled where I probably shouldn't be, an idle wanderer from the brook. I suppose you've heard of it. I'm afraid I haven't, the vole said apologetically. Ragweed, thrilled by the thought that he had already come far enough to be a stranger, said, That's even better. Then he asked, Are you from around here? Indeed I am, the vole returned. I've lived in these parts for more years than I'd like to admit. What brings you here, young fellow? I'm off to see the world. World, eh? Yearning and regret mingling in his voice. Well, it's a mighty big place, this world. Have you seen it? Ragweed asked with keen interest. Just a tad, the vole said, making a humble gesture that managed to imply a very great deal more. Of course, that was when I was younger. Oh, yes, the world is fascinating. Ragweed considered the vole with eyes. Clearly, here was a creature of vast experience. Sir, the mouse inquired, might you know, then, where these two paths lead? I should hope I would, the vole returned with a touch of pride. In my time, young fellow, I have traveled both. They'll take you to completely opposite places. This one goes east to a forest. Dimwood Forest, to be precise. A most impressive place. Dark, strange, beautiful. Something you could experience. Just watch out for owls, he added. I'm sure I'd like it, Ragweed said, paying no heed to the warning. What about the other? The one to the south? It goes to a railway. Ragweed blinked. What's a railway? Forgive me, the vole said. I didn't mean to presume. A railway is made by humans. Do you know about humans? Oh, yes, Ragweed replied, though he had not, in fact, actually seen one. Well, now, humans make trains. A train sits on a track. That's to say, 2 rails. The whole apparatus is absolutely gigantic, makes an astonishing noise, goes at staggering speeds. But if I add that they're dangerous, I'm putting it mildly. You said humans use these trains for going places? Ragweed said, fascinated. What kind of places? Towns, cities. I'm afraid I don't know what they are either, Ragweed confessed. Oh, my, we are young, aren't we? The vole said. Blushing, Ragweed said, I'm only 4 months old. You'll get over that soon enough, the vole chuckled at his own little joke. Well, now, my young fellow, a town or a city is where great numbers of humans live. As you know, humans amazing nests. Prodigious constructions. Reach the sky, they do. As for a town or a city, well, look at those trees over there. Now use your imagination. Instead of a tree, picture a human's nest. Multiply that one nest by 1,000, 2,000, no, 20,000, 1,000,000. There, you have a city. Ow, Ragweed cried. But does anything happen there? Does anything happen? The vole echoed, paw over his heart. Young fellow, if you have a year to spare, I might begin to tell you stories about cities that would curl your tail. In cities. Mind, it can be hunters like you and me. But exciting? Exciting, the vole said with a whisper and a wink. That's where they invented the word. That sounds like the perfect place for me, Ragweed said, jumping up. Thanks for your advice. I'm not aware I was giving any advice, the vole said wistfully. Actually, I think you should go to Dimwood Forest first. Why? It's safer. Next time, Ragweed shouted, already hurrying down the path that led to the railway. Oh dear, the vole said as he watched Ragweed scamper away. He had recollected great importance he should have told Ragweed. Young fellow, he cried out, if you reach the city, keep on the lookout for cats. Cities are full of them. Ragweed, however, was gone. The warning went unheard. All that afternoon, Ragweed hurried a trail, reaching a deep gully just before a railway train. First, Ragweed could do nothing but stare at it. So astonishing was its size. Not only was it amazingly tall, he found it impossible to see the other end. He did see wheels, enormous, shiny steel ones, but they were not turning. Yet Ragweed was quite certain the old vole had said the train went to cities, though he could not begin to imagine how it managed the trip. The part of the train that sat before Ragweed was a boxcar. Great Western Trail was written large on its dull red sides of the corrugated steel. The name charged Ragweed, speaking to him of great adventures. Even better, the door was open. Full of the desire to exit into the gully, approaching the tracks. He found a low coupling hose hanging between two boxcars. He leaped on the coupling, climbing up it, and then ran along the rain gutter on the side of the car. Within moments he was inside. The boxcar appeared to be empty. Then Ragweed spied a split sack labeled oats in a corner. Though he did not know exactly what oats were, he knew good food when he smelled it. Besides, he was hungry. The day had been exciting, but long. This is the life, he murmured, as he pushed his nose into the oats and began to munch. He was still gorging himself when the train gave a sudden lurch. Hey, what's happening? Ragweed cried, and rushed to the open door. To his amazement, the boxcar was moving. At first it did not go very fast. Within moments, however, it was rattling along at speeds far greater than Ragweed ever could have imagined. With a sense of shock, Ragweed realized that his woodland home was very quickly fading away. His heart experienced a painful squeeze. Not only was he truly, there was no turning back. The young mouse, in a voice that managed to combine joy and sorrow, cried, City, here I come. That's the end of that chapter. This is the train. And then, and actually you can see how tiny Ragweed is. He's right there. And then there was a picture of the vole bumping into Ragweed. I will be back tomorrow with chapter 3. Hope you're enjoying it so far.